coming back across to this, I don't know, maybe we will see a little heavier lean back onto Acend here.
Yeah, so win conditions in this, I believe if Acend play their traditional game, they'll probably do pretty well from this and win map 1. NIP need to overdo our expectations, I think, and show growth on this map, because yes, they do play a full map pool, but some are substantially weaker than others, and also we've had a very limited pool of them against tier 1 teams. Their games against G2, of course, heavily balanced our thoughts towards them, but now we have to see how they fare against the wider scene, and of course Acend are a very deadly little team to go up against. We Acend on the attack to begin with, and NRP to try and defend this, and already a little bit of a battle for Shower going down, and Rhyme's gonna be the first one to find the frag.
That's, yeah, swinging perfectly on the Aldron. You spot out Keyless as well. Try and clear him out of that corner. Rhyme's gonna be able to survive. A very, very slow approach here. Obviously, he's seen it actually. The back of that contact in lamps. He's just going to creep up. He might find this open. He will get the headshot. Again, you should have anticipated JD's position as well because of the owl drone early on in the round, but they're going to try and reinforce behind this. Yeah, JD falls. They get themselves some side control.
I'm not sure what pulled Korea's rotation there. There may have been an audio cue or some pressure that was put towards B that caused him to lean away, but Acend found a huge amount of space, right? That walk up short. Yeah, contact towards Shower is the perfect timing to catch the pinch. This should be over and done with. The Kukos is dead. I don't see a way back in, if I'm honest. Nice little molly lineup for Bone Cold. Should keep the spikes, so it's not good. That's a bit of a problem. This creates a bit of space, but Acend's still there, and Acend is still doing Acend things. Chihuahua is dead and gone. Pistol round goes to Acend, and I kind of just talk about how much space Acend got after. So of course, shower pressure happens. But the timing, the intuition to make this walk is very, very solid from him. And yeah, there could have been maybe that consideration of, okay, well, there was an owl drone. I haven't seen anyone back away. Maybe they doubled up in shower there. But still, the value he got for that walkout was massive.
It wasn't, again, just pointing out the Korea rotation. Off the owl drone, they obviously saw 2 people, but they had no information on shore. So for Korea to kind of preemptively rotate away, I guess he's the 3rd man. He should have been able to double check short before rotating, so put that in the pass. And Stars are actually get all the way down here. They're going to walk up behind it. It's a stack for NIP over on A site. That nade's actually going to slow them down massively. To rethink this approach, but the minimap Chihuahua's actually drifted all the way out hooker. He's walking towards market. He might catch this rotation here, and he will, yeah. Keyless does fall on the other side of the map. That's a big kill.
That's pretty big. He's bought time as well by staying postured up to allow for 2 players to now lean on over this way. A fair enough response as well after feeling out that stack, but they are a player down and a couple of tags now felt. Acend 51 HP and Bone Cold 37. Chihuahua is up for this and he gets even more. This is good damage being done. And now I don't want to say a reasonable 2v2. JD has to be important to this, considering he's the one with the Sheriff. Rhyme only has the Classic. Now, post plants are going to be curious, because look at JD's position. A gun recovered, another frag found. This is a disaster for Acend. Oh, impeccable play from JD. And that was all set into motion by that little bit of work earlier on.
Chihuahua, Sheriff. It's just it's going to be a storyline of this series once again, clearly. Time and time again now he's able to find this value. And again, that's off heavy presence shown on A and just no control over market. Absolutely none whatsoever. The fact that he comes in, finds that first kill on Keyless, pretty much turns the round back in their favor, right? They can anticipate the rotation coming out. Chihuahua sits back and finds a further 2 kills, which at that point, they're just bonuses, right?
I'm a little surprised they're able to get away with that. And credit to Chihuahua for just straight up confidence play on that. Finding those 2, I expected him to fall back to side, but no, his value was there to pick up these kills, but Acend's gone, well, I've seen you do it, so I'm gonna go and do it. A little overzealous on the peak there. I feel a little unnecessary to continue down. The one was fine, could have fallen back, I feel. And now this is a bit sketchy. A 4v3, rifles, of course, favoring the 3, but still, gotta be a little cautious on this now.
Let's see. Down drone's going to come down long. Yeah, Korea swings on that one. So they're trying to deny these weapons going over to Acend. Went to Mike. Oh, he didn't actually catch it. You can see on the X-ray how close he was. Korea with a jump-in headshot. Gonna find that one regardless. Now just a matter of time. Starzo trying to retrieve the spike here, but a classic at this range is going to be difficult for him to find. This one will upgrade to the Sheriff. Again, finds himself on a 1v3, and it's a tall order. Close this one out.
I think Korea's got the consideration here. Yeah, barrel's been shown. And look, you get gifted jumping headshots. So surely you'll be fine. And JD bails him out. So no harm, no foul. A little sketchy, but 3 alive is okay. I didn't like the Akukos push down B long there. I understand why you'd go for it. The first one was fine. The commitment to swing that corner, I feel you're going to come up against packed up players, right? There's going to be 2 or 3 down there. And sure, it's up against pistols, but the danger of you losing that rifle and it being unrecoverable is pretty high.
Well, I mean, we saw glimpses of this on Split, right? Where I remember 2 rounds in particular where they got first blood and then they kind of double dipped and overcommitted.
Short's open again. Hold on.
Retaining that control.
If they're doing this double stack towards showers, I wonder if this gets readable. Short was open last time. CNED exploited it, and he's gonna do this again. Now he can catch their rotations. They've already got presence towards the backside of shower, so it is on towards that Sova to play catch. But Starkzo knows this. They've read this like a book. They're very well prepared, and that's a shutdown though. They all pile up, and what a misplay! Even with the right information, they fumble the execution. Line up for him, and you can never write off NIP for the guns at their side. They can still rifle like the best of them. But that was a bit of a misplay from Acend.
And actually, I think it was the Seekers getting sent in there, and Kuko's hitting the TP rotation from B long. It was only 2 Seekers that went into showers, so I guess they fancied the numbers advantages there, but NIP flipping that one ahead immediately. Now, CNED and Coldamenta got it all to do to recover this round, but the spike...
One enemy remaining.
It's not close by. Korea already finds himself in. Chihuahua finds CNED on short. Look to your right. Oh, we had to step. Korea actually made a step there. I think right now, look for some damage. Try and hold on to this rifle. Get something done in the next round for
30
Acend.
seconds left.
I like the double face there as well. On site, just making sure there's no free 1v1 without a trade. Also, we got to talk about spacing on that too. This is just fundamental errors, and we talked about pressure. We heard it. This is gonna be a save from Coldamenta. So unless they start hunting, which they might do, but they've only got 9 seconds, it should be kept over. But this is where I think you're going to start seeing that pressure. If they were fully well considered, because as I said, the plan coming into that was great. They had the right idea and the correct read. They knew that double stack in showers was exploitable, even after noting, you know, okay, no one's playing up on short. You saw how much room CNED got before, got in, perfect, found one. Yeah, eventually they got down the Sova as well. Now, I hope we get to see this back. Indeed. Now, yes, of course, you've got the Seekers coming in, the Flash comes in, but look at the spacing on this. Lined up, no trades, super clustered on this, and the spacing was atrocious. Again, you're going to get a fight, but having full faith in just, I think it was like 1 flash to set you up towards that, potentially 2+ players, little bit of a fumble in my eyes. But again, I think this is pressure certainly mounting on these teams.
Cena's going to pop the Blade Storm off the rip, and this one, JD immediately takes him down, though. Actually, no pivot elsewhere. I mean, it was an early peak off the orb, but no kind of counter pressure to catch any of those players coming back from long either, as Acend actually just going to go through and hit A here. It's Korea and Chihuahua to hold down the fort for the time being. Chihuahua again times his peak perfectly, comes out, finds the second as well. Coldamenta, reply of 2 of his own. Hunter Shuri comes out to try and deny that plant going through. As Bone Cold and Coldamenta both have their ultimates up here, so they have 2 post-plant ultimates at their disposal.
Let's see what they do with it, right? So they put down the smokes. Molly, Stim Beacon, if they want to use that down here, I find much worth at this point. Aldrone going out doesn't really find too much. So 1 Heaven, 1 CT, and 1 on ramp. Coldamenta does have to be instrumental, but he doesn't want to be the almost first to come out. Maybe he can trade on Bone Cold, but 2 HP isn't much to play with. Now already Ultimate pop, looking for the first target, doesn't quite find it, Ultimate goes in, that's good timing. Here we go, suddenly it's game on, Coldamenta. This is great work with very limited amounts. And now he gets his ultimate, he's got to find this though. Akukos is sending it and he's dead. Sit and just accept the fact that Coldamenta just destroyed you with 1 rifle with merely pistols around him against a full-on buy.
That was a sick round. A sick round. Again, after the first blood, actually going in NIP's favor here. The showstopper unfortunately invested inside lamps and Coldamenta was playing close by. I thought for a second this first tag was going to miss and he wasn't going to readjust to find the second, but Coldamenta closes that one out. Again, it took a lot, but I'm fine with that. Invest both ultimates to secure that round. It's a big round win for them. It puts a bit more money back in their favor economy-wise, and NIP actually only really with one round to spare, looking at Korea and Rhymes. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a massive win for Acend there. Again, off the back of Coldamenta saving the Vandal from the previous as well, so making absolutely sure they can find the value in the return.
Very impressive work there coming out, if I'm completely honest with you. You don't often... we always talk about, we call it like a Russian buy, but that was a saved over rifle with pretty much an eco. He was able to work that so perfectly, and that combination with Bone Cold on 2 HP, just perfectly done, using the utility really well. The smokes were invested at the right time, the molly as well, the ultimate. It was his kind of your parting gift, like, look, I'm dead, so here you go, I'm gonna give you this and get out. That was so well done. Credit to not just Coldamenta, but also Bone Cold on that. I really want to highlight he used what he could. And this looks like they found a little bit of a method. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to try and clear through showers. If there's presence there, then they're going to know, okay, it might be that double stack, but there's nothing noted. So I want to see how Acend now approach this site. It looks a bit more standardized with those smokes. See if they maybe have a similar sort of approach to things, but no, they're very cognizant of the fact, well, okay, that shower presence isn't there, but Kriya's on the site. Now, that's going to take down Killers, but the spike has been planted, so maybe a worthwhile trade.
Got to reset here. I mean, NIP now have the numbers advantage. The post play in terms of utility has been weakened, but Acend will find Kriya. Ryan trying to make his way through. Coldamenta will be there to greet him. Actually, Long Thunder going to get invested here. They're going to try and clear out short here. The cage goes down. Could see a tap onto a JD. Unfortunately, loses out to Stars over there. Comes the molly through Stars though with the 3-piece. Acend may have found that gap you were talking about, Lauren. And the important thing here is I was going to notice, I mean, Ascend's composition, right? It's post-plant strength, right? The Sova, the Viper, the Brimstone, and on that execution onto showers. I mean, especially with the spike being taken over to the doorway. That's not Ascend's win condition, right? It comes down to this post-plant strength they have. And once again, their Keyless coming up to challenge. I mean, going a little deeper than he maybe should have, gets caught out by the trap wire. But if Acend can get in with just those 3 default smokes, get the spike down and reset, they just have to hold market, right?
And this is I'm liking how Acend have approached this. They seem aware that there could be some aggression, and there was a dabble of it. Now they're going to know 2 players towards Hookah, 2 pieces of utility have committed from this side of the map. So already that's going to be a note now relayed to the rest that, okay, maybe there's a switch up towards A. Let's have a little look. Now they lean back in. We do have Cypher dedicated towards showers, Omen on the site. Last time, Omen did pretty well. He's going to have to do even better than that, even with less. So Rhymes your danger man, and Kriya has found a connection. Coldamenta's gone down. Bone Cold trying to just chip on towards the site, get in there, smoke's still up. If they get the spike down, that's where the dangers truly begin. Nice little molly as well, just going to keep things locked in, allow some security, and post-plant time. This should be the strength for Acend.
No, they're not actually resetting away from this, though. They're happy to stay close by. Keeler's going to find Kriya. Ened will find a Kukos as well, so already the kill's going in their favor. IP down to 3 here. Rhyme, no utility whatsoever. Get 2 kills if he wants to get the reset on that paint shells. A very slow approach here from an IP. They're finally going to look into lamps here, but clock is ticking away right now. Nobody looking to peek. Bone Cold actually going to shut down JD, and that's going to be Rhyme completely resetting for the save here. Bone Cold going to try and hunt him down. Yeah, just a little. Well, I'm not sure if that was just a little bit of hesitation or what there, Laurie. It was strange to see them kind of anticipating one of Acend to peek, and they just didn't give anything away.
NIP were working with, I think, the one rifle on Rhyme, and then the others were on, I think, Sheriff's Classics. Not much, but they were looking for potential trades, and you're right, no one was really giving them much, because why would they? They've got the post-plant. You've got an agent composition that's hyper dedicated towards that. You're not going to see people just be like, well, I'm just going to rush you. That's not what's going to happen here. So I feel like NIP do need to maybe call a tactical timeout on this and kind of talk through what's going on, because I think they're being very readable right now with at least the kind of shower presence, how open short is, and the way that Acend are kind of noting that is pretty clinical. Now, if they can switch things up, if they have a new look to go to or maybe an adjustment, then fair enough. But keep in mind, Acend don't have to run this every time. They've had a good read for a couple of rounds and can go okay, well, let's just default out for a bit, see what they've changed up, see if there's a difference, see if they commit to some aggression, and it might just be through short here, coming out of hookah straight towards the fight.
Either set up with his paranoia and another flash from Akukos as well. Gonna find anything initially. They're gonna hold on to this there, but Bonkol actually swings. I'm not sure why there wasn't a second swing with Rhyme there. He was just left solo. First blood will go in favor of Acend, and a little bit sloppy. I love the idea, but if there's 3 bodies there, why not double peek it?
Sure, what? And another single peek, no trades. I'm a little worried. Don't get me wrong, I get why you'd maybe try and sneak a pick here and there, I get that. But 0 kills being able to be traded so far, or attempts at kills. Now you're going to see, well, a little bit of a intention of adjustment. Chihuahua does find Acend, gets himself caught up as he tries to get out of there. Chihuahua just eats the flash. But there's 3 players to try and deal with 4, so overwhelming numbers going to be piled towards A potentially. It's going to be JD on the other side. Bonecold gets himself locked and loaded, wants to get in there and quick flash towards the back of Showers, but JD's good for 1. Good trading, nice spacing. Acend going to get towards the site for free. This should be a plant, and there goes Seekers.
Yep, they reveal both. Starzo finds the first, Keyless swings on the second. Again, just a fantastic readjustment there from Acend. I actually think Korea's ultimate was noted on B long there by Coldamento, and then as soon as Chihuahua shows through hookah, you can see straight away they call that it's 2B, they swing right around, they literally isolate JD. I mean, if he's playing this deep here as a solo man, it's a free sight. Nobody can rotate quick enough to stop that kill coming through. Really, really good stuff from Acend.
Acend are living rent-free in NIP's heads right now. And I'm sure Akukos, of course, the, previously named, kind of like Prince. You know what I mean? He's just, I know, right? Like, who's heard of him? Akukos now, of course, is a great IGL. He should be able to get a grip on this and come up with maybe a theory or 2. It might just take some time. And I don't know how deep they have their kind of preparation on this. I don't know how deep their protocols go, because this collection of NIP is still relatively new. Now, this should be a comfortable round for Acend. This should be 6-3. Let's see if any danger begins. Here comes the first attempt at it. Okay, Akukos finds 1. That's about it. That's all you're going to get for that one. Acend find the 2-for-1 trade. Spike is down, and now they become the bigger beast. They become the post-plant team that their agent composition complements perfectly.
Molly and Orbital Strike once again, so even if NIP are able to work a miracle here and off at least 2 of the remaining 4, there you go, you can hear the Molly going out. JD actually identifying the fact that that's a possibility. Taps it, the Molly comes through, gonna force him off. Korea now. Fight gonna tick away, there's not an awful lot you can do about that. Actually gonna pop flash out off hookah. Throws the paranoia out to try and get a kill. He will find 1. Again, found all but done now. Just going to look for some economy damage. JD did manage to retrieve that Vandal on long. And once again, I mean, I was going to make this point. NIP reluctant to kind of challenge pre-plant.
Yeah.
To kind of stop that down to obviously weaken Ascend's chances of resorting to this post-plant utility setup. But that was the first time we've really seen it on A site. They haven't really dipped their toes in terms of stopping the execution coming through. Other than, I'll be honest, the misplay by Acend to kind of stack into Showers on that 1 round with the Seekers.
Okay, and this now, for me, I'm enjoying watching Acend, but as someone who enjoys the game, I'm waiting for NIP to find an answer. And they've gone back to the same old, the pressure towards Showers, but the quick TP goes through. So, interesting approach. They're going to read the play here quickly, of course. It is going to be a very quick B hit. Ultimate used to clear out the Octagon, the little garden area. And in we go. Omen's still there, and they're actually pushing up on the fight this time. Much better proactive crossfire. Chihuahua makes it out, but Korea doesn't. But I like that idea, taking a bit more of a proactive crossfire in it. Now, Starkso completely unawares. Chihuahua just playing the smokes to perfection. And now time for rotation has come in. NIP finally, after taking a little bit more of a forward fight, seem to have a chance. Oh, no. Let's call the Mentor and find a little more. Now, with that happening, with this revealing all those positions and potential, should be game over. Let's see what quick crossfires get set up. Okay, you've got Cypher on the site, and then you've got Raze behind, and then, being in towards hookah is kind of the death of this round. Unless that Viper wants to peel all the way around and add a little bit of paranoia to the matter. That could be a potential to try and dig that player out. You can already see that Existence, or aka Akukos, is checking on that. Now, Kiles, aware of the position though, tries to make her way out. Not going to happen. Really good situation there in that 3v2. They stayed patient, they held the crossfire. Very well done by NIP. But also, Hypoc, I want to talk about them kind of taking a more proactive fight, kind of sitting postured up on this. Well, this is what we wanted, right?
That's exactly what I was just talking about. Right there, I mean, NIP not afraid to take the fight as the execution comes through. And I mean, at that point, it might sound weird, but if you've got 2 players over there and you're anticipating a 4 or 5 man execution onto the site, I mean, at that point, you know, if you can find a 1-for-1 or 2-for-2 trade, it's almost advantageous, right? And the fact that it's from behind smokes, the trap wire obviously reveals one of the players' positions there, works out perfectly for them. But that's exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about. Stopping Acend from just walking in for free, getting a spike down because you feel as if you're in a 2v5
Now,
defense.
the thing I want to see is how they then adjust that towards A, right? We've shown that, well, we've seen that they can do it proficiently towards B, but again, that double stack towards showers is super readable. It's been giving away some part of the game, right? It's kind of the, you know, well, okay, they're double stacking showers. We clearly worked that out. We know that short's open. The adjustment for NIP here is, I'm curious to see what they want to do to try and deal with that site pressure. I know that Mitch always loves to, you know, when you see a Sky, it's very hard to op against it, potentially. Now, it's not quite the Phoenix Sky combination, keep in mind. But in my mind, I'd love to see someone applying pressure from maybe Heaven or just kind of being super mobile with it. Now, I don't know if that's something within NIP's wheelhouse that they want to lean into. We just don't know how much depth they have here. I just think that, again, if Acend hit a bit of a roadblock, they'll go, well, okay, we can just go back to exactly what was working before. Our site hits have been pretty diligent. Yeah, a couple of dangerous rounds, but more often than not, we've got the correct read.
Yeah, you're right. And I think, you know, talking about the operator in that scenario, it's one of those things where you can almost get that free first kill from a position like Heaven, so deep that it either makes them second guess the full-on execution coming through, or it just gives you that strength in the retake. I mean, if it's the Viper or the Brimstone you kill with that first peak, right? It's massive value. It weakens their setup. But right now, I mean, that round's a fantastic example. Whether or not we see a full-on readjustment here from NIP, and they want to resort to almost taking that deathmatch aspect, right? It's like, okay, the site hits coming through on A. We're going to gamble stack one way or the other. We either fight or we commit to retake. But the condition for them there is just not giving anybody away on the way in. And speaking of operator, yeah. We got it. Korea actually will invest this time around to try and hold down A short from a very close by angle.
I don't mind it. Look, you got the catch off, right?
It's that depth,
no one
right?
predicts it yet. It hasn't been seen yet. It hasn't been noted yet. It's 1 for 3, and you should be able to back away. I guess he's self-sufficient in his own flash, but without any presence noted yet, I want them to start leaning the third man over towards B. I'd like to see that adjustment maybe from JD. I don't know, or whoever they'd like to see do it. If they start feeling that pressure on B, whoever makes that call of hit some rotations. They've heard a Sky flash up long. Might be time to consider rotation. Here it is. Rhyme, starting head through that CT rotation, decides to lean this way. There is still the Sova, who could potentially be a problem if they go for a quick TP here, because that's going to crunch Omen on short. That's going to be a problem, but that's yet to be seen or done. This is a very different look from Acend, isn't it?
Is indeed, and actually the one consideration to make here is Killer's actually had his ultimate online, so this is another good example of where NIP want to prevent them from getting that
there it is.
access to site. Cold Mentor actually finds the first. Yeah, Seeker's going to get thrown out.
30 seconds left.
A lot of pressure coming through showers right now as Ryan going to hit the rotation back over. The Showstopper comes out. This could be terrible for Acend if they stack up on top. Korea actually what? He found that one with a ghost. He was getting pressured by Cena with a rifle there.
Oh, that was so sick.
Now it just comes down to one. It's just
that was so sick. How on earth did he handle that much pressure? Starkso, though, can at least pull a peek out from Kukos. Maybe feeling a little silly here. Don't need to give up these fights now. 4 seconds. One of you can face and accept the death, and it'll be Ryan, but he doesn't even go down. Good work from NIP on the adjustment. We said we wanted to see a little bit more of that maybe op potential. I didn't expect the Ghost to come out as well and do nicely, because honestly, the way Acend played that was a really good read. Let's talk about that as well. They kind of showed presence at B. They left Sova towards A. That's fine. They keep a little bit of, presence towards A. They make sure no aggression happens. And then when this hit comes in, they crunch basically that, postured up site presence, which would have been a pretty standard answer from NIP. That would have been a really good crunch potentially. But Korea bails them out, 1 with a banger and then 2 with a pistol. That is big work. Now we go back in 6-5. Both teams now have a bit of an answer to this. This is now down to the nitty gritty. All those ultimates they've got to play with need to come online.
Oh,
he's got 2 for.
2. Bone Cold and Starzo will fall. CNED will pick himself up a Vandal, but he still has the Blade Storm available. We're going to have to back away from this, but what a huge, huge opening to this round for NIP. Korea immediately finding value with that Operator. Now it comes down to a 2v4. CNED and Coldamenta. Actually swing back over towards A. Anticipate it was a 4-man stack for NIP. CNED going to find Chihuahua. He unfortunately does not come out on top of that one. The recon now, Coldamenta's just got to flip back and forth. Try and get something done to recover this round. Last 1.5, a 1v4 for Coldamenta.
Now look, he's done the ace. Just has to continue on that path. Let's see what you got, Coldamenta. Not Chihuahua. Come on, give me Coldamenta POV. There it is. Let's have a little watch. A 1v4. There's no reason to not go for it. Now the first pick, sure, that can happen. Now the second creates space. Left. The problem is they're being closed in, so Raze and well, it'd be a Kukos should be on red alert. They are, as the map got smaller and smaller and smaller, attention gets called. 6-6 on the half switch. A pretty good game. Now let's talk about the kind of pendulum swing, right? This is 2 very good teams, so this is what happens. First of all, Acend, great statement, that was a shot. A 2-for-1 discount for Korea, and that ops made a big difference, but we'll come to that. Let's talk about the pendulum swings in this game, Hypoc, because at the start, Acend had a really good grip on the game. I think their hits were great, their reads were great, but then NIP, the adjustments were just as good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Acend weren't really expecting that. I think when they're given that much space in the first half of their attacking side, they're almost... I mean, you should be anticipating it, right? But it's literally from one end of the extreme to the other. And trying to play so deep initially and giving up that side control, I guess made Acend maybe a little confident, maybe a little bit of complacency on their side. They're unable to, but hold that thought. Rhyme actually double satchels all the way into showers here.
And in a hurry.
Fortunately, yeah. Right there. Desperate for that opening, but that's the solo man over there. Is Rhyme just trying to bait out rotation, but look at it. Yeah, Bone Cold's actually going to head all the way over to A. CNED was considering it. Going to leave 2 men over on B site to hold it down.
This is going to be either impeccable or disastrous. Korea was the first man forward. Now CNED on the swing. Gets the info. That's enough. Can at least pull out a little bit of utility, but he needs a little bit more. He needs some support. We do have the Sky on the cross as well, a really important position. But drawn away to have a little peek towards long. Flash goes in, he can readjust now. Focus towards it. The Flash has caused so many. This is sick work. Korea Starkso. Oh, Starkso just straight away finds 2. Massive presence. This is lovely work. But Chihuahua wants in on the action. A 1v2 now carved. Where is that spike? Okay, is that on the other side? It is. It's on the other side of Hookah. Now that's important, Chihuahua. Oh my god, he's got it.
No way he gets this. He gets back out.
So
no
sick.
way.
30 seconds left.
Chihuahua's giving this some chance.
They're not going to have... Okay, yeah, so now they know he's giving away the audio cue that the runaway there, they have to assume he's taking the spike.
They can't.
They're hanging around just to double check.
Yeah.
They're waiting for that smoke
because
to dip.
they can't 100% believe it yet. There's still a potential chance he's trying to bait them, right? There's a chance he's waiting for them to try and lean towards A. They have to play as a pack. They can't risk splitting up. And now he's given himself a chance. Chihuahua in the 1v2. Starkso did really well to stop this from being a complete whitewash of a round. Now, they do have some utility left on Bone Cold. Keep that in mind. But he wants a quick fight on one of them, potentially. Sitting towards U-Haul or Lamps. Starkso works forward. Okay, position noted, Chihuahua. Oh, the timing is so sick on this.
This is beautiful.
They're not sitting it yet. Chihuahua continuing forward. Smoke goes in. He's going to find the free 1v1. He's got one. He's going to dip away. 21 HP. And now, Starkso put under pressure. Chihuahua. The timing. He can't quite get it right, but Starkso
Nice try, mate.
should have time on the defuse and keeps control of the round. But that got so close.
What an effort. Wow, I mean, honestly, it's only the molly that really changes the tide of that round. The fact that he times, as soon as they pop the trap wire, recruits in behind them. This is just beautiful from Chihuahua. Starzo starting off as well. Again, I said it the other week, this guy making a case for being one of the most consistent Skies in Europe.
I'm with you. The value of that.
What a round that was.
And keep in mind, imagine what would have happened without Starkso bailing them out like that. Or Chihuahua not popping off. Who knows how that round could have looked, but you just had 2 players exceed expectations substantially on that. Now, money-wise, of course, this will then swing to keep that, you know, the money rolling in real nicely for Acend here. Get the Spectres up. No rifles coming out, just kind of keeping it cool. And Killers, the timing's excellent on that, actually, really good timing. This is going to force them to fight or flee, and they go forward. JD dies for it. That's really well timed, just as their utility got committed, so they wanted to utilize that. Now, yes, they've cleared lamps or U-Haul, but now they're stacked on the site. Maybe this is part of the intention. Chihuahua's found Acend. The push from Killers, that's worth it. He'll take that death, as it's now a 3v3, and the spike yet to be planted.
Yeah, that's it. The molly coming in from Bone Cold all the way over on B side. See it landed on default there. Coldamenta gonna find Kriya. Get it even more difficult for NIP to get something done here. Starter actually gonna swing through. I thought Ryan might actually catch him on the way in there. This Chihuahua who remains with a Sheriff. Cole gonna shut him down from heaven.
Okay. 6. Killers. Just nasty play there. Really feeling the timing right as well. Committing the utility just as they've committed theirs, so it's just forcing them to fight on it. That was so nicely done. Now, of course, here comes the bonus round. So NIP traditionally should pick this up. They have substantially better rifles coming in against 2 Buckies, Spectres. I'd like to see maybe something a little more aggressive, and it looks like that's the case. You can already see the double stack towards Showers, double stack towards Hookah.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I think you got to try something a little bit different in this round. Otherwise, you're not going to win a traditional fight against a full buy.
Yeah, actually, Bauer positioned well to greet them. They decide to push further out. Again, the 2 Buckies being over towards B, expect them to sit back and wait for NIP to give them. You can see Cena just that range lined up on the right click. Ryan walks this, he walk peeks this. It should be Cena winning this all day long. Yep, gonna get it, gonna dash out. 1 weapon removed immediately for NIP. Now the thing is, actually, they've reset over on A, so it's much deeper hold for the defense over there. And actually, the preemptive rotation coming out from Coldamenta, they're going to try and reinforce this, Lauren.
43 seconds now. First flash committed down towards short from Sky there. Kriya. Cena just holding a way deeper angle. Nice little kind of deep off angle on that. And this is where things become a bit of a problem. They've been worked away now down to 3. And now the 3, look at the utility they have left. Kukos has to be so impactful in this. And I don't think he can be. This is a straight up save. Welcome to game time.
10 seconds
I
left.
can't, I mean, from that alone, I can't help but get the feeling NIP are a little rattled here on Bind. Again, spread very thin.
That's not good.
Chihuahua gets picked up as well.
Or if they lose these guns. Okay, JD keeps his. 2 left. What's the money like?
I mean, that's huge though, because we're always talking about always survive with the 3, right? The majority
No more charges left.
save coming through. That actually changes it quite a bit, because I don't like the triple force up. You can see JD's actually going to put 1200 back into this round, and that puts him on 0. Now, this can get a little funky if Acend hit double digits here.
It's broken the economy to the degree where, well, okay, well, we saw the Coldamenta can do it with 1 rifle and 4 pistols. So you have better odds, I guess, traditionally than that, but as it stands, bonus round collected, economy damage done, Killers again, right place, right time, forcing the fight, all information now noted. Whether they force this issue and continue forward, yet to be seen. Damage being dealt, Coldamenta sitting deep here, doesn't want to allow those Sheriffs find too much work. Oh, a bit of chunky damage coming through. And they've got the site under wraps. Now, Spike should be planted pretty soon. Who's got that Spike? Is it a Kukos?
It's a Kukos, yeah. I think they're anticipating getting a kill for this
The
plant
spam, JD.
through.
CNED just not loving that. That is the worst way to go. Trying it out and just get sprayed through on now. Okay, we got to see this post plant setup. 2 of them watching that CT cross. No one actively watch. Actually, no, I tell a lie. JD is watching the push out from the U. Ben Seeker's invested, finds 1. There's a swing off the back though. Oh, that's really good work. Bone cold. 3 out of nowhere. NIP and Tatters is now just JD left in a 1v3. Spike now halfway all the way. It's not going to be stopped right now. Coldamenta's dead, but that ain't the defuse. And Acend. Keep it moving in the right direction.
That was disgusting. That was actually disgusting. Again, NIP just kind of trying to bait Acend to come in and challenge the site beforehand.
Enemy remaining.
That readjustment was actually insane from Bone Cold. Like, actually disgusting. What a retake. Again, just a few important factors there. Keyless, once again, he's trying to convert that Spectre. You can see he tried to make a play and get that cheeky kill to obviously get that economy rolling. And now they're in a position where CNED's going to invest the operator into this, and they're looking so comfortable for the rest of this half.
Oh yeah, their money's established. And they can be confident, get a little cheeky in a couple of rounds maybe. Cold Mentor there.
Watching here.
Goes for a little walk. Gets himself some goodies. Maybe going to leave Bone Cold just kind of postured up there. Leave him pushed a little further forward. But now you're going to see the long creep coming out from NIP. Rhea trying to get to the wider angle. Gonna put Killers on notice. But CNED, this is the new look here. Let's see how he handles this one. Readjust, still going. Killers is there. They're yet to kind of step across the line though. That's what we're waiting on. The Kukos. Just biding his time. Killers. Again, forced to play further and further there. To be fair though, they aren't using this utility to get to the site yet. Now is the first step towards the site. That's Rhyme taking space. They've finally got a bit of room to work with.
Once again, trying to get some little bit of contact. Creo actually going to overinvest. Oh my word, Acend 3 quick kills here, and it's going to deny the plant as well. Things falling apart at the seams in this round for NIP. Chihuahua 23 HP, stuck in hooker. CNED going to clean it up. Wow. Acend just happy to sit back and let this happen. This is, I'll be honest, some of these rounds, NLP just seemingly lost when they're given this site control. They don't know how to react to Acend just, you know, being happy to sit back.
Well, I mean, so much utility was invested, it looked like on towards B long. Great time being bought by Killers there, using the Viper really nicely to, again, hinder it, allow time for rotations to come in. You had CNED in the right place already with that op, but it was the retake, it was so well formed. Even investing the ultimate from Bone Cold just to make sure that, you know, the spike can be recovered. You saw the Sky Flashes poured in towards Hookah. There was no recovery there. And I imagine timeout for NIP in this, because once again, their money's in a lower end of it, so not ideal by that means, but they're up against 11. They are struggling in these rounds. Acend look drastically in control of the money and every other aspect of this game as it stands. I need to see a little bit more from NIP.
I think actually more in control of the pace as well. NIP just seem to be offbeat in terms of anticipating what Acend are going to do. It was actually Kilo's going to pop the ult right at the start of the round here. Gets roll over short. Again, naturally, to force NIP to consider B site more so, but on the defensive side, it's a 3-man stack. Bone Cold, Starzo, and Cold Mentor. Need to greet them if they decide to push through.
Kind of forcing the hand, isn't it? Can't really walk short in this. You're almost wanting to maybe make that play through showers, but you're gonna have CNED up in towards heaven with a fair crack towards watching it. That's where his eyes are trained on. And the other intention would be to go for that B hit. That'd be the other kind of, you know, thing you'd be considering. Now it looks like they're gonna go for the showers play. So this could be a potential big CNED round. If positioning's right, aim's on point. Let's see how they try and approach this one. Gilles, he ain't moving unless he has to. And with no presence noted, Flash now going to be committed towards B long. Nothing noted. Here we go. It's game time. Now the TP's big. That puts CNED in a spot of bother. This should speed up the hit through showers, but he's back and he's ready. Killers. Perfect angle. His 3-2 split is now cut in half. He goes down though. There's still a chance. Cold Mentor's here. CNED is here. And Cold Mentor is ice cold today. This guy is so sick. Now Kriya though, still alive, but with everything in front of him. A 1v3 now? Absolutely not. Starkso keeps it in check. And once again, Acend looks so well prepared.
I mean, I know Lothar is just going to be cringing watching that. The fact that they come through and try and walk challenge through Kiles's ultimate. It's not pretty. This is uncharacteristic of NIP, to be honest with you, to look this lost for an answer. Usually very versatile. They're able to kind of troubleshoot things on the fly, and right here, Lauren, it's It's not what I was expecting.
No, look at the confidence. It's almost bubbling over. CNED's just going to take long control. Okay, instantly.
Oh, look at
Get
this.
on those rotations. Through the TP goes the flash. So that's already a bit of an indicator that, wait, they're going to find this out quick. We're in trouble here, boys. Already the pings towards Shower, just trying to keep that in consideration. And look how these guys are playing. Acend have just taken half of the map away from the ninjas to try and play with. But here we go. NIP on the site here. No one's offering anything up. Ultimate's invested. They got to find something. 0 finds for now. Rhyme even catching a bit of damage, and Killers is right there. That's 2. He wants some more.
God.
He might get some more. NIP down to 3 here. Kriya dabbling with the idea of going towards Lamps, but do you want to go towards Killers? Because I kind of don't. This crossfire is favorable towards NIP though. Chihuahua and Kriya finally pull it together, and now it's finally a favorable scenario for them. CNED got the knives out. Maybe there's still a bit of life in them. Bone Cold's got a smoke or two to put into play. He's still got some work to achieve. There we go. Goes towards a spike, draws the players out. It was close, but not close enough. And waiting in the smoke is Omen. Kriya is just about keeping a lifeline in this for NIP.
That was so interesting to watch again. The fact that Acend back up and they're ready to re-aggress as soon as both of those ultimates are burned out. The Hunter's Fury and the Showstopper finding absolutely 0 value. And it's that small kind of 2 to 3 seconds where you have a window to challenge either just before the spike goes down or as you hear that audio cue. And right there, Keela's showing just textbook how it's done. Dips in, finds 2 kills. Unfortunately, he's traded out. But right there, I mean, the fact that he's in Lamps, he either does that or he dies for free, right? And that's what NIP were missing.
Oh, they're also missing a player now. CNED, so quick. I was like, oh, there's no way. Boom.
Dude.
Smashes it.
Once they get rolling though, it comes back to we come back to just a Jet being able to just bully a team. You could just go for what 5 or 6 different peaks at the start of every round.
CNED.
If you're gonna convert them.
Gotta be careful now. They lost Hookah control. He's still looking for that pick though. He's so desperate for it. He actually might catch the cross. Sees Omen on the bait, but that's JD on the swing. Really good bit of work between NIP there. Pressuring up as the time was on the right sort of side of it. And now here we go. Let's see what Killers can do. Not too much this time. Finds Rhyme, but not much more. Starkso though also been pretty clutch, and so is Bone Cold. The 2v3 spike now being planted. He's gonna creep the smoke. Now they've got 2 players towards long. Spots one. Kriya sharp today, expecting
Ready
that.
for it.
Bone Cold tries the other side. He finds the first. Didn't take a piece of damage. And he's got a smoke left. He's also got his molly left. This is where things get a little scary. Now, he touches that spike. Pretty sure he's gonna be noted, but he's got that molly to play with. Here we go. Finds the fight, spots at least Cypher on the left, and he knew there was an Omen down here. So he knows that both these players are in this position. He's got to find a fight. Just outdone by Chihuahua. A nice attempt, but once again, NIP clutching this round out.
Yeah, Chihuahua just the discipline there to hold onto his spy cam to use it into the smoke there, just to double check. I love that, but. I mean, that's all off the back as well. That's the NIP just forcing the issue. They literally try and re-aggress onto the fact that they spot the operator and they try and overwhelm it, right? They just try and throw some bodies towards CNED. And again, I mean, Kriya narrowly escaping death with that TP onto site. Right here, I mean, a much better look from NIP. They looked way more comfortable there as opposed to trying to play this default spread very thin at the start of the round. Not really any information garnered. And right there, it's like we see the operator, we force it. Literally force their way onto that site.
Timeout coming in. Unsure who this is called by. This might be Acend, I could imagine. Unless someone's, faking the old technical timeout. But I feel as though Acend might want to just get a little bit of grip on things. Again, they haven't been too bad. They've been losing in a couple of kind of post plants here and there. It's not terrible. It's just... we know that NIP have some incredibly good individuals, and if Chihuahua's having a series, there's always a chance. I'd still say Chihuahua is one of my highlight players from this team. Sure, Akukos is a great IGL, but Rhyme off to a big start here. Looks for the... Ooh, the freebie! He just felt it out. I don't think Ornamenta made a step, but he's dead regardless.
Right there, Akukos, you can see where he was positioned. The fault line was actually sent from market all the way in behind that Viper wall in showers. Coldamenta was actually stunned up by Akukos there. It's going to find them a very early kill in this round.
Now, CNED could be interesting here. Follows the bullet. The man's found Chihuahua. That is the heavy hitter gone. That is a huge scalp to claim. Starkso in the right place as well. This is a pretty scary hold, and you still have Bone Cold towards Hookah. This could change things, if they're going to clear that well or not. Rhymes could be the one to try and do that. Now, spammed out, but he gets that swing on it too. Now, where's that spike going? Back to A. Look at this adjustment from Kriya. But Killers is still here. Now, how does he want to play this? CNED's could be called over, but he's been smoked off. If he walks that, he's a madman, but I've seen crazier things he wants to. He's dying for it. He actually gets the lean through.
Oh.
Now, spikes to be planted. Been clear, close at least. Good. Baffled. The Omen just went for a walk there. He was way too ahead of what NIP were even expecting a player to be at. You saw Omen just casually walking around. No. But now Starkso plays it well, finds a peek on Kriya. Now a 2v3, but these post plants, I don't think we're going to see them really go for this. That op being in play should keep him on the save.
Indeed, as nobody for NIP still trying to remain just a little bit disciplined on site. Again, at this point, don't want to see them chasing down. I want to see them try and build some momentum in the economy. Make this comeback a reality. Another very, very nice round from NIP. And again, you're right, Kriya from the shadows, the readjustment to heaven. As soon as he's not challenged there, I think NIP anticipate there aren't enough bodies on A. So right there, I mean, if you can pinch using the Omen ult from heaven and short, or showers in this case as well, it makes it so difficult for that single player, which in this scenario is Keyless, to really do anything. There's so many angles to worry about.
NIP got another one back. Double digits is when I like to call it a comeback. That's my line that I stick to. Now, one more. We have a game on our hands. Gotta get that one more on the board. CNED looking for that start. Was that a tag? I thought Rhyme is lucky to be alive. That felt so on,
yeah.
But just through the wall enough that it's caused a bit of a tag. And this will send them towards the other site for now. Maybe just that op presence is enough for them to reconsider, or maybe this was the plan all along.
Guarding here.
So actually the one way down on short going to create some more problems for NIP, and already you can see CNED's got himself tucked up into heaven. If they try and walk this, it's going to be so awkward. Rhyme actually going to satchel across. We'll get through with the paranoia as well. Hunter's Fury from Cold Dementor actually going to find a double attack there. Can he convert one of those? No, he can't.
Yellers called upon now. They've taken over towards Lamb. CNED trying to keep a track on this one. Spike's yet to go down, so if they keep their eyes on this, there's a potential, but you could see CNED was worried about showers there. There's the smoke coming into it, so he can repeat towards short. 30 seconds now. There is a time limit on NIP's work here. They've hit the brakes for a second. Killers once in. Oh, just gets the spray. Outdoes Kriya. There it is. CNED still able to peek in, but he gets swung on, but there's a trade out. Bone Cold, great work towards Chihuahua. And JD now called upon. A 1v3 presented. 45 HP and not a lot to play with. Spike now down. You can see the patience on Bone Cold. Not to push on his own. He wants everyone else here. Flash gets eaten by JD, but no one there to swing yet. Gets spotted though. And now problems start to mount. All the utility put in. He's been revealed. And JD, what can he do with this? Again, the spike being diffused. It's going to get to halfway. At the very least, JD needs to do something about this. The spray's not good enough. But Starkso is. It's 13-9.
But I mean, Acend just took it to them. Now, the problem being, I mean, we just talked about this in between maps, right? Is NIP like to do this 3 or 4 round fact-finding sort of play style and then kind of react upon that. Now, Acend is showing us a number of different setups, a number of different variations to how they like to play on bind, and Icebox, I think, leans into that. I don't want to see Nip kind of step back and allow Acend to almost condition them on attack.
Yeah, let's have a look though. Let's see what Acend do here, because they've got a very attack-heavy roster. A lot of agents selected do tend to lean this way. I mean, look, I'm sure 10s on Reyna will tell you it's another way, but not everyone is 10s. But still, already Rhyme's going to potentially find a lot of information off this. Yeah, Rhyme's done very well in this position, but the problem is they lost out on a Kukos hit. So suddenly it's not looking so likely. JD catching on the cross, though. One more would have been great, but JD now surrounded. Still gets one. That's good work. Still finding value here. Bringing it to a 2v2 means this is still a pretty reasonable round. They can hit the brakes a touch. The spike still needs to be planted, which it will be soon. So Acend should be able to get some side control, but I'm looking at Chihuahua in this and seeing, let's see what he can do here.
Actually got a double face on. Yeah, Korea going to fall immediately, and Chihuahua actually coming in all the way from the attacker side spawn, seemingly unchecked for the time. But ooh, we caught the barrel there.
One enemy remaining.
We can find the first, and actually swings on to the second, but can't close it out. Keyless will find his third on the round, and I love that execution onto Boiler there.
Nice.
The walk up, the wall up to challenge as soon as Bone Cold drops that smoke. It gives him a perfect opening there, but JD, a heroic effort to try and hold the fort down for NIP here.
And
Just can't escape away.
no, and even adding to that, Chihuahua reading that kind of late game crossfire perfectly. He knew exactly where the other player was going to be. So you can see the intuition on these players. And I'm glad the desk was talking about different compositions. And I think people sometimes overly read into, well, that's just one style. It's also the players you have to work with. Some players aren't suited to hyper-aggression or, you know, potentially duelists. You have to play to the hand you're dealt, right? And some of these players play agent pools that are drastically different. And if you force a player into that, it changes style and it kind of removes some of their brilliance away from them. I think sometimes you do have to play to your players' strengths a lot more than just the considered meta, which is I quite like seeing the difference here. Now, CNED gonna get given some free information. This is a stack though, but at least the lucky part of this is they've seen JD, who was here last round, so no additional information has been caught, at least with this.
Yeah, they can't necessarily read that this is more than the default on the side of NIP, but the owl drone potentially going to give away more. I'm not sure if they managed to shut that down before they could spot the third player. Seemingly, actually, they did, as CNED going to back away, and the rest of Acend as well.
That's good. Good work, good read.
Chihuahua's got it all to do now, as he has the sheriff. He has the sheriff.
Good luck.
30 seconds left.
If he gets an angle, but Bone Cold in a really nice position to catch that rotation. That's good from Chihuahua, though. That's the spike now lost. The others were more postured for fights. Chihuahua gets the shoulder peek towards one, trying to kind of float back through. Starks, though, should have a better angle on him. He does, so removes that threat. And now Spike should be planted. I don't think there's anything really in the utility kit to deny that. Priya only with a classic. It's going to be JD, if anyone, to really try and find some momentum changing here. Utility invested, CNED finds Kriya, and now just JD left in a 1v3.
Who left in the clip there? We'll actually find CNED. So again, looking to do a little bit of damage onto the economy. We'll be able to retrieve one rifle, maybe.
Oh,
actually,
couldn't quite
no,
travel it
I
back.
can't. What was it? He kept through a. Was it a Spectre there? Yeah. So the Spectre and the Vandal saved through. So it's going to be a scrappy purchase on the side of Acend. Maybe going to see CNED make a play for this orb on A. Maybe play the Blade Storm into this one. I guess a consolation prize, at least for NIP, to do that much damage. They're going to bring 5 rifles into this one. Nobody close to their ultimate. Actually, JD the closest 2 away from the revive. Side of Acend, nobody really enough of an impact to get theirs on. But speaking of impact, CNED straight up on top of Tube. And this is what I was talking about. That pace change that Acend showed. Oh my God, Bone Cold just actually got him fully blind from the paranoia here. This is how you convert a scrappy purchase right here. That's straight away the readjustment, all out aggression early on in the round, and NIP punished.
It's something we've talked about at the very start, and I think that we're seeing more and more teams get better at converting these bonus rounds. Some characteristically more than others, and I can't wait for the statistics out there, you know, on the various sites to really show that. And once we get obviously a bigger pool of maps to be seen and tournaments, of course. But we're seeing more and more teams realizing how valuable this bonus, quote-unquote, round is. If you have something specifically in mind for it. Now, if you get readable, you're going to get worked out. I mean, if you haven't already checked over on Reddit, Nookie saying, you know, they broke out the Reyna just to purely kind of throw someone like, you know, Akukos off the scent of things, to switch things up because he was too readable on his race normally. It's too easy to kind of predict for someone who knows that they're going to be read into. So these small adjustments, these small ways that they can change up these rounds are really interesting to watch. Now for Acend, they've done perfect for their beginning. First 3 on the board. Convert the bonus, and now the money goes in the kind of hole for NIP here. They can have a partial buy. Force, if they want, with Guardians or bits. It's not great though. Look at Chihuahua. He's left in that terrible predicament too. It's like, you're going to have to come in with less. What do you want to go in less with? You know, is it the weapon you're going to come in with, or... You can't spread the wealth that far.
Going to be Guardian on Rhyme and Kriya. They will reinvest back into this. That's off the back of obviously one of them falling. They tried to save through 3 weapons, but now Acend kind of anticipating this. I guess anticipating a funky buy or maybe a little bit of aggression from NIP, but this all plays into Ascend's hands. The way they're able to switch these rounds up. NIP not really doing what we know they like to do, which is finding early information, getting a feeler on the round very early on. Acend gonna actually lean back towards A. It's just one man defending it right now. It's only JD on A site.
They've got info. I mean, Akukos
Actually, look at the swing here.
will have called this, but now Cypher's kind of leaning back towards middle. Maybe trying to get through the kind of connector there, but already they're on site. They've had the information. They've done not enough with it. And look at this depth from above with Acend. Leaps over, just hands out executions. And now 2 alive, and neither in positions to really make much happen.
30 seconds
Akukos
left.
is here alone, pretty much.
Spike
Korea
planted.
is a mile away from being able to help him out and do anything with this. It might just be save time. Don't know if he can even save here, really. There's too many players coming
Player
through. No,
standing.
no chance.
Yeah. And Korea's now in a position where he's saving a Guardian.
Oh, feels bad.
I mean, I hate to come back to it, but as I said it on Bind, it looked as if NIP were a little bit rattled. And I said to you, 3 or 4 round allowance for NIP where they try and get a feel for the game. And right here, just the first 4 rounds going over to Acend. It's not looking good, I'll be honest. It's really not looking good. I'm not sure NIP can really come back with this sort of playstyle. Again, we saw it on Bind. A few rounds they were happy to just switch up and go balls to the wall, and those rounds look comfortable. Right here on defense, though, they're just sat so deep that they're effectively waiting for the push to come out from Acend. And right here, I mean, unless you gamble stack in, you're always going to have that 4v2, 5v2 on one of the sides. As you see here, it's pretty much just CNED and Keyleds that find all of this entry onto A.
Sorry, mate. Trainers aren't allowed in here. Look at those little bodyguards. Little doorman. Not letting it happen. At this point, money-wise, let's have a little look. NIP, they still got the Guardian, I guess, but they do at least fashion a purchase. This is probably the biggest round, and look at the adjustment of aggression coming out from NIP. This is gorgeous work. They have absolutely just thrown him through a loop. Now, yes, they lose the initial pick, but then to have to retake this territory is going to take so long, but that's a good response from Bone Cold.
Bone Cold.
Out of nowhere. Finds NIP and just slaps him across the face. Bone Cold has just evened out this round drastically. That's gonna be for free. Kukos finds a floating CNED, just yeeting through the air, and now a 4v2 begins, but it is a post-plant 4v2. One of the 2 positions is noted, and JD is still trying to clear through middle.
They're relatively split here. Again, I can't help but feel this is a scenario where NIP are going to say, yep, we've got to save this. Yes, if we can get any more damage onto the economy, let's do it. But yeah, you can see JD drifting all the way back over. I'm wondering actually if he's considering going for an economy revive over on A. Akukos still over here causing problems for Acend. The tap the spike actually going to bring, yeah, 1 more kill is going to go over to him, but Bone Cold still inside the ultimate. Shut that down again. I hasten to say, what if JD was there with him?
And either it be a miscall or just he'd have had to have called that I'm just gonna go for it. You know what I mean? Maybe just a straight up individual call, feeling it out, feeling out the information. But JD simply just said sure, and that's fine. And exactly,
have fun.
He's playing against such odds. And people are like, well, why weren't you hyping that? Because it didn't come to anything. We're not North America here. We don't just yell needlessly about rounds that go nowhere. Shout out to my homies. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh no. I'll backtrack. I'll say who do they like out there? 100 Thieves?
Hello, Reddit.
100 Thieves, they're great.
Hello, Reddit.
Love them, Steel. Shout out to my boy. I don't know. I don't know if they like him anymore. He's been kind of toxic. They've been turning on them. Ugh, it's all falling apart. 5-0 though. I think again, no one's having much impact from NIP. They're behind the ball. I actually quite like that aggression. Let's talk about some bonuses there for the Ninjas at least. I like the aggression on A. I don't even mind that they necessarily lost a player. If you're gonna go for those aggressive leans, it's always a high risk that you're going for. Doing that on probably one of the only full-ish buys that they've had, maybe a little sketchy, but you have to try and make some adjustment because by default right now, Acend are playing a substantially better game, very all-encompassing. And now, you can see the caution on CNED though. This is the impact of having those aggressive rounds. It does take them a little bit of time now to clear on through, but they've at least got the step towards the right direction. They've taken over the same sort of space. Got the default going on. Viper's still kind of lingering around towards B. This is an adjustment though through middle Hypoc. Looking towards what we're seeing from Priya and Akukos, they do have that mid-presence building, but they still have to control that A site.
What we do is actually Aldrone getting dealt with is going to force the wall out of JD, and they're going to play a little deeper here. So anticipating this A hit coming through. And really, I mean, this has been the slowest approach we've seen from Acend. So you're right, with just that one round, Acend are now maybe reconsidering their approach. The recon bolt going to ping nothing though. Prime happy to sit alongside JD for the time. Oh, Cena did just spot. I'm over behind the screen here, and actually the hit's going to come through. So JD actually potentially going to get isolated on backside.
We're coming through. I'm waiting for impact on this. Killers does get a bit of a problem, but he's managed to stay only for so long. Actually, CNED and Killers convert the kills. They've got 17 seconds. They might just get that spike down. No! Akukos, Rhyme, double up together, and there's still a chance in this. But look, no guns. I'm looking for the recoverable weapons. Bone Cold's allowing them nothing. The reaggress on the flank has just cut them off of the knees. Chihuahua gets himself a rifle, but by now he's lost control. Everywhere around him became a threat. And Bone Cold's lurk has been just filthily good.
This is clinical from Acend. Absolutely clinical. I mean, NIP looked lost, and that's not a phrase I think I've ever said on any other game that we've covered. And this is the time where I'm almost begging NIP to say, look, you're already at a 6-round deficit. Like, why not get funky with it? Like, go for some, defensive pushes, get a little more proactive through mid and B, because right now Bone Cold is just being given full B lane control. And right here, this is a massive tool for Acend. If they could just keep the focus of NIP on B, even if it's just, 1 or 2 players, it leaves that door so wide open. This time around, though, Kila's over towards A site, and
Camera taken out.
Creep down B lane will start.
Priya finding the first, but here comes the problem, the double swing. Oh my, what? CNED out of nowhere finds Chihuahua, and now this is a problem. Kriya tries to reaggress. That's a surprise, but CNED again doubles down on this. This could have been a disaster if it wasn't for CNED still making this work for themselves. However, cut off for now. They still need to keep control of what's potentially lurking behind them, which will be a Kukos. And now CNED's got the deeper angle. He can control this line of sight, which is actually pretty massive. When they finally work their way up, they're still waiting on that flank, but no one is giving this away yet.
Yeah, they've slowed this right down, actually, and see again, it's only really JD on site.
30 seconds left.
They're gonna hit the full rotate. I'm not sure if Akukos is gonna catch this. He's got to be looking.
Has he got vision on it?
He's just crossed over.
Okay,
He's gonna catch it. Thread the needle through mid here. 20 seconds left. Acend have to force the issue now onto A.
Ooh, okay. Akukos, 13 seconds. By the time you know what you've got to do here, a clear plan in mind. But a flying Starkso denies it. And a quick spike plant. Anything to stop it with? Nothing! Spike goes in, they're just about holding on. Rhymes found Coldamenta. Starkso and CNED still alive though. The post plants are going to be vital in this. What can they do in this? The adjustment, the op, can it find a good position to play with? Reds comes in, Starkso says no. He's doubled down! And CNED's there as well! I can't believe they still stick the landing on that.
My God. This is actually insane. Once again, Acend just looking so comfortable on Icebox. And even those late round hits, we've talked about this time and time again. Akukos' only job there is to slow them down. Slow them down. That was filthy. I'm glad that just stopped me from what I was saying. Yeah. Can we just see that again another 3 times?
It was so sick. And 2 players in the team getting 3 Ks each. So you love to see it. You love to see it. Ooh, 7-0. This is a masterclass from Acend, I've got to say. Normally, NIP, I think, have a really good grip on the game, but they're being completely just written out of this. They've been read.
I mean, this is the problem here. Without a duelist, without a jet, without a Raze, without a Reyna, these defensive pushes that I'm kind of wanting from NIP, they're so difficult with this composition. So difficult. I mean, really, JD's the only one that can... Okay, that was ugly. Bone Cold still comes out top of that. But right there, I mean, it's so difficult for a Breach and a Cypher to come in and find these low-risk early round peaks and get away from it. They almost have no, like, you know, peel individually.
Okay, Korea. Waiting patiently over towards B, but I'm looking to see where Acend go with this now. They've had the 1-for-1 trade out, Bone Cold loss, and a Kukos lost. So Cena looking to crack open a chance, and the timing, if he gets it just right, okay. You don't re-peek that now, do you?
Oh.
You do not re-peek that, Chihuahua. Maybe you do. I don't know how confident you are, but if I see a jet with an op down middle, I'm like, you know what, I'm alright. I'll go somewhere else. And it looks like this B lean, so it will come down to Korea holding this angle for now.
What's out? That's the Korea ready to greet. Actually, going to find a fantastic headshot onto Zenit. That will slow things down. Literally 11 seconds left on the clock here, and actually Keeler's going to find 2 of his own, but they have to get through. They have to plant the spike. Korea now he's got all to do. JD finds the first. Korea will clean it up. Oh, it's not pretty, but NIP will post their first round win.
Korea bailed them out. I felt they're a great deal, and keep in mind he's now on 4 kills, so it's not like he's been popping off, but the kills he got were so imperative. Chihuahua's timing was good. Keeler's made it a little sketchy to say the least, but still well controlled in the end by Korea. I do see an op coming out for JD. I'm waiting to see how that gets utilized. So you've got an op out and then Rhyme on a Guardian. Feels weird towards A.
Feels
yeah,
weird,
it really
man.
does. And Cena, it's like, a challenger has appeared. Allow me to have some fun. You can't get away as quick as I can, but JD can put up a wall and try and readjust the battlefield a little. There could have been a pick there. There could have been a real quick pick. Cena, though, gonna kind of peel away from this. Let's see if there's any flanks, any naughtiness. Nothing for now, but a hefty lean towards A. You've got 4 players on the defensive side over this way. JD does find Killers. Big pick coming out there. Now looks again for some more. No. Bone Cold expected it. Already had that angle. JD just kind of slowly walking into it was not good enough. And now 4v4.
Yeah, that's it. It's ain't going to hit the brakes, but Coldamenta himself a cheeky little kill. Eyes on the minimap. Korea on this late lurk. He might actually catch. Really good timing here if he can get in between, but Coldamenta's ready for it.
Korea still wins?
Korea actually loses
How did
out.
Korea win that fight? You could see on the minimap there, on the adjustment, now Korea expects more aggression! Korea single-handedly trying to save NIP at this moment. They line up and he's going to just dismantle them all, and now Bone Cold called upon. 30 seconds, spike to hand. He's got 3 players to find.
His ult's going to fall. His ult's actually going to fall here. Yeah, he can't get back into it. He will find Korea. Now he doesn't have that safety net on site. Oh my, is that going to clear that? Oh my word, Bone Cold.
It's forced out at least some knowledge, and now he gets it. Oh, I don't want to say a clean 1v1. It wasn't clean enough.
NT.
Really, NT.
I don't know how Korea won that 1v1 with Coldamenta. I'm not sure. Just well, you can see it there. I mean, he just absolutely smoked him. But they tried to double face, but I mean, pretty much just line it up for him here. Korea putting an IP on his back. But it's only 2.
Yeah,
It's only 2 rounds.
These 2 rounds have been because of... I want to say Korea in this. The way he's been kind of evening out some of the initial damage, even on those lurks, has been excellent. You could accredit that to the rest of NIP for buying the time when they tried to hit the site. However, here we go, straight into this one. Coldamenta trying to get this one started perfectly. Cena, though, going to go on the chase here. He wants to get involved, but already stunned up, hits the brakes for a second. The rest of the team come in. This is looking like a retake from start to finish, unless there's another part of the plan in mind.
Well, this is it now. They're going to get in. They get a clean spike plant. Now they can reset. You can see on the minimap now already Bone Cold is setting up for that post plant. And NIP don't really have anything. Other than time, they need to get in and pressure this. It's already taken too long.
They need something. They need a couple of steps, and CNED already worth his value. Killer's there in perfect combination. There's no favorable fight, no 2v1, no effective trading. The spacing is so good. Rhyme, though, that's not bad. Catching CNED on the re-peak on the adjustment, but Killer's still there. still doing work on the Reyna, and there's the res towards Zenith. Now time's a factor, and I think with that op in hand with JD, it's time to back away. Save again, NIP. This one's looking rough, and actually Chihuahua's being fought, and that's the gun gone.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we talked about on Bind, is if Acend can just get in uncontested, get a clean spike plant, and reset. And right there, I mean, it's another switch up once again. They hit hard, they get in, find the plant, they get out. Right there, I mean, you need to see NIP either challenge before the plant comes in, or very aggressively come back and challenge that post-plant setup. Nobody on the flank, everybody coming through spawn. They're basically funneled into either peeking heaven or coming behind screens. It's just, it's really awkward to watch.
8-2. It just feels like there's been such a awkward economy for NIP the entire time, but look at this quick progress up towards B long as it stands. You do have 2 on the other side, Korea being 1, and Korea, I feel, has been such an imperative factor for NIP, but he's down to just the Sheriff. Chihuahua's there with him. Now, again, let's see how this take works. Normally the flanks have been pretty big for NIP, mostly because it's been Korea on the other side, but let's see if this one's gonna work out. Bone Cold, clearing, moving eyes away, and a bit of a break, a bit of a pause for Acend here. Maybe looking to see if there's any aggression trying to catch a flank. I'm looking at Reyna as well here. See what killers can garner towards middle. There has been traditionally a player lurking. No one deciding to go for this just yet, and now we see the wall goes back up, the ultimate gets invested, and it looks like Zenith might be in some danger, but luckily, very mobile.
I got the spike. Spike down, B.
The Rhyme's still going to find Starzo, though. Oh, Bone Cold just threads the needle on that first. Then we'll find the second
So
as
sharp.
well. Oh my god, JD will trade out. He still has this revive, but they've just not been able to find it. Rhyme will catch a gun barrel. Clean that up, and it's just Coldament left standing. Right, all the way back in lane. Actually, 25 seconds. He's got a challenge. JD there to greet him.
Bone Cold is making every round look possible.
Last round in the half.
This guy is sharp today.
I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. If this is 8-4, this is like a miracle for NIP. With how this half has turned out, that would be a huge victory on their part.
JD with some great work coming in, of course, towards the back of site, but we're looking for repetition, and if NIP have taken this long to become kind of held accountable towards this, it's going to be an interesting conversation on the half switch. The economy finally falls in, not necessarily favour, but at least somewhere fair for NIP, but Acend with a quick bit of a play towards middle. Look at the pace coming out from these guys. Acend are straight through middle right now. This is massive on the switch up, and now NIP are in curious positions. So look at the amount of space they found in Killers right at the helm of this. Working his way forward, Bone Cold's there with him. Korea does find Bone Cold, but by now the spike is in a bad spot, but they are still just infiltrating behind enemy lines. What an adjustment from Acend. Great call from whichever person made that.
Starzo's in their spawn to find that kill. JD actually going to find Zenith up on top of site. But it's a 2v3 now for NIP. Empress gets popped. Chihuahua, got to be careful here. He will win that 1v1 against Starzo. Neural Theft goes out. JD actually going to find another one. The last one gets revealed. NIP actually flipped that around. They will close out 8-4 in this half. Wow, what a round.
It was a round, and the work coming back in between JD and Chihuahua was fantastic. But keep in mind, the post plants were uncomfortable. They'd taken mid, but to get that spike down, they pushed obviously through towards site, so the post plants were kind of uncomfortable. But great work between JD and Chihuahua to make that all happen. So again, credit early for Acend, and then NIP on the clutch factor coming in. 8-4 on the half. Hey, it's given them breathing room. It's not a lot, but it's enough. Now, you could argue, of course, that... I don't know. Yeah, you could argue that Ascend's roster is pretty comfy on attacking, on them instigating. I want to see how well they defend now.
Yeah, that's really the saving grace for NIP, to be honest with you.
The recon bolt.
I'm hoping you can. Yeah, I'm hoping you can see something because I can't. No, we're back. Okay. But I mean, a lot rides on this. The 8-4 scoreline is always a talking point. But right here, I mean, Acend in terms of round 2 conversions, double digits, and with the way this has gone, hold that thought because actually NIP very aggressively going to push under tube here, but Acend there to greet them initially. CNED and Stars are all finding kills. Korea will finally respond.
Spike
This
down,
round's all
B.
but wrapped up. And again, just... oh, it's actually crazy to see NIP just... This is so uncharacteristic.
It is, but
Like, right there, it's like, yeah, we're just going to take this deathmatch.
Yeah.
This deathmatch execute, which we barely ever see them do on
I just don't know if it's stylistically what works with them, right? And again, this is where I'd love to be able to have someone like a Kukos come on and talk through some of the decision making. But I think a lot of us read very heavily into NIP's kind of burst onto the scene with the results against G2, which is fair. And the display they showed was excellent, but the depth we didn't know yet, because there was still a relatively new team to our vision in that regard. Now, Coldamenta could be on for a bit of farming. Let's have a look. Gets enough vision to go, probably shouldn't repeat that, but I will. Damage being done. Not too afraid of the pistols, clearly.
Rightfully so. Yeah, actually, Bone Cold, a really cheeky spot. He's going to get some early information as well if NIP decide to lean back this way. And you can see on the X-ray, that's exactly what's about to happen. Hold on. We'll find Korea the first. Actually going to re-aggress. We'll find Rhyme as well. Finally traded out by Kukos. They will get a weapon upgrade. Stars, though, going to swing off this, though. That's the first Chihuahua. Will shut him down with the Sheriff.
Okay, the clutch duo themselves, Chihuahua and JD. Oh, 12 HP and 22. Bit ET all? I don't know. Maybe. Show me some magic.
Standing.
Nah, not today.
30
No
seconds
magic.
left.
They've worn out magic tricks. JD got the heal off, but a quick shutdown. That's double digits for Acend now, which is the scarier factor here, right? NIP, I worry about them on the attack too. How easily able are they to instigate in this? Can they create as much space? Can they do as much work? Momentum, confidence, all in Ascend's camp. Like, hands down. You've had Bone Cold having a great series. CNED still being CNED. You've still got Killers up there doing well, but again, like, Coldamenta isn't even particularly required. He's got 2 kills, and he's doing just fine. It's fine.
I mean, really, with the way Bone Cold Killers and CNED are playing, it's no real surprise, to be honest with you. IP going to look to quickly find some control down B lane. Again, CNED got himself tucked up top. Got 2 teammates actually to counter peek off him, so it's going to be really tough for NIP to crack through this setup here from Acend.
Poison orb emitting.
Patience being shown for now, excluding Killers. That means everything on this. They're going to clear this angle with intention. Oh, the timing, Killers! I thought they were going to swing at the same time, but he still finds Chihuahua and makes it out of there as well.
That's the advantage. I mean, you can send Arena forwards into that one and done spot almost and completely unpunished. Yeah, I mean, seeing it getting in behind here, just, it's got to pull NIP away from A. 27 seconds left now. Oh my word, Bone Cold just tapping him out in mid. Kukos will finally respond. Round. All but done. Stars are going to clean it up. This is an absolute clinic from Acend here. NIP just look lost, Lauren.
Yeah, the answers aren't coming through. You're right. And I mean, okay, let's burn through the kind of
30
conversation
seconds
that you've got to have. One, you've got to be able to tame Acend here, which, when this is happening, quite difficult. On a scale of, like, things that are difficult, that's very much towards the top end. Bone Cold's just having a game. So, okay, you've got to break that confidence. 2, you've got to keep your economy in a good place to try and build back in. I'm already seeing Marshals, Bulldogs, and a Classic and a Spectre. It's not great. Oh, no, there was a Guardian. And then you have to account for the fact that Acend still have probably a very solid game plan behind just the aggression that they can work with, the kind of, you know, throw it at the wall and see if it sticks sort of rounds. And keep in mind, Bone Cold's just invested in Ultimate. Another bit of depth that they can work with here to basically lock off the entirety of A. For NIP to pull off the next couple of rounds, they have so much against them.
Do indeed, as we know, it's going to be something for NIP to consider. And I mean, I know Lothar's going to be on the edge of his seat right now if NIP decide to walk push this. Again, I'll be honest, it's going to tilt me if it happens. Bone Cold's going to get early information here as well, and you can kind of duck in and out. Actually, he's going to get spotted out. Chihuahua will deal with it, and the ultimate will fall. That leaves an opening for NIP here. Coldamenta needs to get something done. He's actually going to commit to holding on to side. The Rolling Thunder and the Paranoia, though. Chihuahua will clean it up.
How much can you ask of one man? And here comes the answer, though. Right back at it. Saxo and Cena crack in towards the side. And that spike, it's on the swing with Kriya, and that's on the wide angle now. That's not safe to be recovered.
30 seconds left.
Nikukos left in the 1v2. Map point will be posted on the board. 12. If he doesn't manage to convert this. Spots out 1. Looking for the second. Don't know how he's going to try and corner off this fight favorably. They're doubled up, and oh, the timing's unfavorable to every extent. 12-4. And Acend have looked so formidable in this. They've controlled every aspect of this game.
They have, and I mean, now NIP just reaching desperation stage. This is so far away from the way I thought this was going to play out. Honestly. But Acend just once again stepping up and just showing the confidence, just sheer confidence to take the fight to a team like NIP. And like I said, NIP really restricted by this composition. They can't make that pace change switch up and go for that early round punish. Cena now with an operator on Boiler, actually swing and a miss on the first and the second. NIP again going to get themselves under tube very quickly. Chihuahua headed towards kitchen.
Let's go again at it. Let's see what can get done. 12-4, Keeler's already finding JD. Oh, Keeler's. Look at this. Look at this work he's putting in. And now Bone Cold. Yep.
Spike.
Yep.
Spike.
Yep, and Bone Cold's here. So they can all put their attention towards that side and say, hello, this is Bone Cold. It's time to shine. 2 in a row. He is just working with surgical precision on that aim. And now Kriya, called upon in the final moments here for the Ninjas. We've thoroughly enjoyed what they brought in the past, but today they have been outdone, and Acend have been at the helm every single step of the way. Now Kriya trying to make the adjust towards middle. I guess he's got a rifle to play with, so that's something. See if he can get past the first step of this puzzle, that first piece. He's not got a fun fight on that. Killers has got him. It's 13-4, and it's Acend